Hello friends, in this video we will study the next case study of the ratio analysis. So friends, see here what they have asking. They are asking find the debt equity ratio. We have to find the debt equity ratio, and they have given this much of data and this much of figure they have given. So friends, see what they have given. They have given share capital is 250,000. Reserve and surplus is 1,10,000. Long-term borrowing is 120,000. Long-term provision is 50,000. Current liability is 70,000. Non-current assets are 3,80,000 and current assets are 2,20,000. So that much data they have given, and they are saying that we have to find the debt equity ratio. The name itself, it indicates debt equity, that ratio is nothing but the debt upon equity. So debt equity ratio is nothing but the debt upon equity. So which debt we have to take, that is very important friends. See here, debt here, consider while calculating the debt equity ratio, we have to consider the long term debt. Divided by equity. Equity is nothing but your shareholders equity. So friends, see, they have given share capital. Share capital is 2,50,000. So it is the part of the shareholder equity. It is nothing but the shareholder equity. Reserve and surplus. What is reserve and surplus, friends? So what all the earnings of a company, all earnings and are accumulated at a place, and that is nothing but your reserve and surplus. So that is also a part of the shareholder and equity, that is used for some long term payments, or like some paying some dividend or some other fixed payment in the future. For that purpose reserve and surplus is uses. So friends, reserve and surplus are also part of the shareholder equity. Next is the long term borrowing. So it is the long term debt. Borrowing nothing but your debt. Next is long term provision. Long term provision is also your debt, right? So you have to pay in future, that's why it is the long term debt. Next, you have to remember friends, while calculating the long term debt and shareholder equity, finding out the value, while calculating the debt equity ratio, we have to ignore the current liability, non-current asset and current asset. So this part we have to ignore. Why? Because while calculating the debt equity ratio, we only need long term debt and the shareholder equity. So we come to know that there is two value that are long term debt and two value that are shareholder equity. So next step is very simple. We know what is long term debt. We have already identified long term borrowing and long term provision are our long term debt. So in the numerator, long term debt divided by in the denominator shareholder equity. So what is long term debt here? 1,20,000 plus 50,000. So 1,20,000 plus 50,000 divided by shareholder equity. So we have find out the shareholder equity is share capital plus reserve and surplus. So divided by 250,000 plus 110,000. So 120 plus 50 is 170,000. Divided by 250 plus 110 is 360. So when you solve this using the calculator, you will get 0.47. That means your debt is 0.47. That means 0.47 as to 1. That means this is your debt and this is your equity. That means your debt is almost half than your equity in this example. So friends, what that indicate? It indicates that you can increase your debt. In general conditions, maximum debt equity ratio should be 2:1, right? But in some sectors like mining, right, so it can be beyond 2. That means your borrowings, long term borrowings can be more than your share capital, right friends? So this is very, very important for your examination, friends. Many times IIBF have asked in JIB and CIB both, right? This type of example they are asking for 3 marks, because they are very simple. You have to just add 2 value in the numerator and divide it by 2 value in the denominator. So friends, this is the how to calculate the debt equity ratio. The important thing here, you have to note the how to segregate the numerator values and the denominator values. So we will move to the next case study or next numerical, you can say. So see friends, here what we have to do here. See, in the question they are saying we have to find the debt asset ratio. We have to find the debt asset ratio. In the last example we have calculated debt equity ratio. In this example we have to find the debt asset ratio. What they have given is fixed asset 16 lakh, non-current investment 22 lakh, non-current investment is 2 lakh, current asset 7 lakh 60,000, total debt is 18 lakh 50,000, total payable are 1 lakh 40,000, outstanding expenses are 25,000, and bank overdraft is 85,000. So friends, what is the total payable? Total payable is nothing but your bills receivable, right? Total payable is nothing but your bills receivable. That we can say it can be your current liability. Total payable is your liability you have to pay, right? Next is the outstanding expenses. So you have to pay in future outstanding expenses. That is your current liability. And bank overdraft is a loan. That's why it is your current liability. So friends, what is debt asset ratio? Debt asset ratio is nothing but the long-term debt. Name itself indicate debt upon asset. Debt asset ratio is debt upon asset. So debt upon asset. So but in this case, long-term debt we have to take only a long-term debt, and asset we have to take the total asset. Asset we have to take the total asset. So friends, here what is long-term debt? Long-term, what they have given, total debt they have given. They have given very tricky example they are providing here, friends. See, because they have already given total debt, but we don't need a total debt. We need only a long-term debt, right? So total debt is 1850,000. 1850,000 minus we have to subtract some things. What we have to subtract here? See friends, the total debt they have given, but the current liability is nothing but your debt, right? The future occurring expenses na. So that's why, see friends, from that total debt we have to subtract all current liabilities. From total debt we have to subtract total payable, outstanding expenses, and bank overdraft. So 1850,000 minus 140,000 minus 25,000 minus 85,000. So we have to subtract from total debt to that much of debt, that is current liability. That three things we have to subtract. Why? Because the total debt they have given and we need only a long-term debt. So in the denominator we need a total asset. What are total asset? Total asset nothing but your fixed asset plus non-current investment plus current asset, right? All are the assets. Investment is also your asset. So friends, adding this in the denominator, so 16 lakh plus 200,000 plus 760,000. So when you solve this, 1850,000 minus 140,000 minus 25,000 minus 85,000, you will get 1600,000. You will get 1600,000 divided by 2560,000. And when you solve this, you will get 0.625. You will get your debt asset ratio is 0.625. So friends, in this type we have already studied. In this video only we have completed our 2 case study. But friends, I suggest this debt equity ratio is more important for your examination. Debt equity ratio is more important for your examination. So friends, don't forget to share and subscribe Banker Zone. In the next upcoming video, we'll complete the remaining case studies and some theory part, that is how to add some values in the numerator, like we have to calculate the long-term debt. So what the component we need to take in the long-term debt, what the component we need to take in the denominator, like a shareholder equity. But what is a shareholder equity? While solving the numerical, you come to know the basic idea, right? I will upload this separate lecture on all the basic concepts, right? But it comes to be boring when you study the theory. That's why I come first with the case study. So after completing the case study, we will again study the basic, that is how that component should be added or which component we need to be exclude. So friends, in this type of video we have completed the 2 more important numericals. Thank you friends, and don't forget to subscribe and share the Banker Zone.